Cavaliers go down in Game 2 in Madison Square Garden to the New York Knicks. We're going to talk about why this happened. You're watching Cavs Now, presented by PrizePicks. I am your host, Joey O'Donohue, and I got to get right into Kenny Atkinson. I'm diving right into the coach because I think he's the main reason the Cavaliers fumbled Game 2, and he deserves blame for the collapse in Game 1 when the Cavs were up 22 with 7:52 to go. Kenny, the rotations don't add up. There's multiple instances in this game where, listen, the Cavaliers were battling. They kept it close, only down 4 at halftime, and then we're tied in the third quarter. The first thing I want to talk about with Kenny is Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley had it going in the first half, okay? 14 points in the first half. He was hitting threes, 5 of 8 from the floor. Evan Mobley, the Knicks, seemed like they didn't have an answer for him. He was the guy that could lead Cleveland. And what does Kenny do? I didn't see him for most of the third quarter. And he did not take a shot in the second half. It's embarrassing. And this Kenny Atkinson-run Cavaliers team, why does it feel like whoever has the hot hand, if it's Mitchell, if it's Harden, let's say it's Mitchell, why does it feel like the Cavaliers start to go to whoever doesn't have the hot hand? Like Mitchell was dominating in Game 1. Mitchell doesn't take a shot after 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Now they start going to Harden, who's cold, who's getting cooked on defense. What is it with this Cavs team? And I get it. In theory, you think, okay, we got two guys that can score at will, Harden and Mitchell, so they start doubling Mitchell. Oh, Harden could get his. Maybe just go to the hot hand, because clearly it's not working. Okay? And so that's where we find ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, and Mobley was on the receiving end of that tonight. The Knicks go on an 18-0 run to start the third quarter. Let me paint a picture for you. The Cavaliers score with 10:37 left in the third, okay? That makes it 53-53. We're tied. We're tied in the third. Cavaliers making a little run. It's looking good. Knicks continue to go on an 8-0 run from that point. And you know what? It becomes a 71-53 lead. That's 18-0. And then the Cavs score with 5:05 left in the third quarter. That is 5 minutes and 32 seconds of game time that the Cavs score 0 points, not even a free throw. It's an 18-0 run. And Kenny learned that you could take timeouts. I think he took one timeout during that massive run. And guess what? We got cooked coming out of the timeout. What do you talk about in that huddle, Kenny? What did you talk about at halftime? To get us embarrassed and getting us to fall to these huge Knick runs in Games 1 and Games 2. And so because Kenny deserves so much blame for all that we're talking about today, I want to know, do you guys think the Cavaliers should fire Kenny Atkinson? If you think they should, type F for fire. If you think we should keep Coach Kenny after this series, type K for keep. But I'll tell you what, if the Cavaliers lose this series, I think they will and should fire Kenny Atkinson. At least should. And do what the Knicks did, quite frankly. When they got to the Eastern Conference Finals, fired Tibbs. Look at them now. 2 games away from the finals, unless we can handle business. James Harden, almost a little bit of the same sort of concept I talked about Mobley with. 18 points overall for Harden, 6 of 15 from the floor. But Harden was good in the first half, 12 points. Harden was 4 of 8, too, in the first half. Which, 50%, that's good in general. That's really good for James Harden, and a guy that handles it that much. And is a guard. So, what happened to Harden in the second half? I didn't see a lot of him either. And then finally hits that 3 in the corner, gets his points, but it seems like Mobley and Harden were hot in the first half, and then we don't see them in the second. That's what I don't get about Kenny Atkinson's game plans and how the Cavaliers do their business. Maybe the players are just inconsistent too. I don't know. Harden's definitely inconsistent, so that factors in, but I think Kenny's a big part of this play. Donovan Mitchell did his thing in the second half, right? This is what happened. He started to get hot in the second when he wasn't that great in the first. And Mitchell, 19 points in the second half, 6 of 12. He shot 50% in the second half. Not enough, though. His 26 points to get the Cavs over this Game 2 hump. So let's talk about what else went wrong for the Cavs, and then frickin' Josh Hart's legacy game, and then we'll predict Game 3. But let's also give a shout-out to PrizePicks, the place to go if you love daily fantasy sports. Player picks on fire right now with playoff basketball getting going, and there's no better place to cash in while watching sports than with PrizePicks. With the social feeds feature, you can share PrizePicks with your friends and copy lineups with a single click. That includes my lineup. My username is JoeyOD1 if you want to find me on PrizePicks and follow me, tail my picks, or fade them if you got better picks than me, and get my picks before I post them on the show. My player picks were correct tonight. I had more than 13.5 points for Harden. He got there in the end with 18. Also had more for Mikal Bridges, points, rebounds, and assists, and that made sense because he had 25 points tonight. I also had a team pick for the Cavaliers to win, though, and they lose. So I did not win that part, but I did get my player picks correct. Guys, PrizePicks really easy to use. Just pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. A new user offer. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code HMA to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Link is in the comment section and description of today's video, and that is code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. Jarrett Allen was battling down low too, 10 rebounds, 13 points, double-double. But a big problem for Cleveland is the free throws. Like, why is it when they get to the line, they're bricking for chicken out there? And Allen has this consistent problem where he's missing the first free throw. Cleveland on the night, 69% from the free throw line. Believe it or not, that's a better percentage than New York shot, but Cleveland got to the line way more, and so they got to knock them down if you want to compete with this New York Knicks team. And so that's what really, really infuriated me. Allen missing some free throws too, but I do like the energy that Jarrett Allen plays with, getting boards and getting fouled down low, but he specifically was 50% from the free throw line. Let's move on to what really hurt the Cavaliers, and to me, that's lack of depth help. We got to talk about these lineups that Kenny was throwing out there as well while I'm on the subject. Strus didn't give you anything. The thing with the Cavs in these wins, usually you get a monster game from Max Strus or Sam Merrill. Somebody on the bench steps up for you. We didn't get that tonight. Strus 1 of 7 and fouled out in the biggest game of the year for us. 5 points, 3 turnovers. It's a joke. Sam Merrill? I love Sam Merrill. At least I did till he went 1 of 8, 0 of 7 from beyond the arc. It was so freaking embarrassing for this Cavs team. We didn't get any help off the bench. The bench scoring is disgusting. We're going to go through most of it. So then Kenny starts playing Jalen Tyson. All of a sudden, he's getting crucial minutes in the fourth quarter for this team because Merrill doesn't have it. And he has 4 points and shoots 1 of 4. I mean, 0 of 3 from 3, a couple fouls as well. Like, we're not getting it from anybody. This is a joke. And again, furthers why isn't Mobley playing over Tyson in this spot? It's ridiculous. And then Schroeder, don't get me started on Dennis Schroeder, who's a liability the past few games for the Cavaliers. Used to have that cool first step in the Pistons series. All of a sudden, he's turning it over, and not necessarily tonight, but just in general, missing shots, and 2 of 5 for 4 points. No help from the bench. Meanwhile, Josh Hart, all of a sudden, he's a 3-point specialist. 5 of 11 from deep. And we're just leaving him open. I think you got to figure it out, Kenny. When he makes the first 3, let's start closing out, not give him the 3. It's pretty simple coaching adjustments. 26 points for Josh Hart, a playoff career high. It's the Josh Hart legacy game. Jalen Brunson, we actually held in check. Only 2 points in the first half for Brunson. Then he got it going a little bit, 19 points, 14 assists. That's a playoff career high in assists for Jalen Brunson, 7 of 16. But we did a great job on him. 1 of 7 from deep. Brunson was getting clamped and looked like he wasn't showing up scoring the basketball at all for his team. Not his best game, and they still body us. It's embarrassing that the Cavaliers lose by 16 tonight. All that said, though, this happened in the Detroit series. Cleveland went down 0-2. Then they go home. They handled business at home, tied it up. we got a series, and the Cavs dominated in Game 7. So I want to know, going back to the land, do you have any faith in this Cavs team to win that game? Comment down below, CLE, if you've got the Cavs winning in Cleveland. Type NYK if you think the Knicks are going to win again. But let me know in the comment section who you got in Game 3. Type CLE for Cleveland. Type NYK for New York. Overall, tough game to endure for us Cavs fans, but I'm going to try to stay optimistic unless it gets to 3-0 or 3-1. But Cleveland right now, they got to go home, handle business. They say the series hasn't started. The series doesn't start until the home team loses. So let's go home, handle business, and tie this thing 2-2. Let me know what you think about that, Cavs fans. But I'm your host, Joey O'Donohue. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you are a diehard Cavs fan as well. I appreciate you all tuning in, and I'll see you next time here on Cavs Now.